Nothing new on the injury, so I'll just go ahead and fire away.
Jordan James was out. He tweaked.
Yeah, but that was I mentioned that the other day. I thought that did I mention that? He's got a little tweak. He'll be back in a couple of days.
Coach, about halfway through practice, you kind of gave it to him a little bit. Talk about, was the energy just down, and what did you need to do there?
It was our first competitive period in pads, and I just wanted more out of him.
Did you get it?
Yes, yeah, but it's not good enough yet.
The tempo seemed to be a little slower today. Is that because
Not really. No. It was actually the practice was about the same exact length.
How much of this is kind of trial and error for them? Realizing that they might think they're going 100%, and to you that's, say, 80.
I think that's a great point, and I think that that's a lot of it. And to your point, because I think there's something to what you said as well. It's a little hotter out here today. It's our third practice. The pads go on, and you start to understand like the length of the practice and what's coming next. So at times guys pace themselves, and we can't ever pace ourselves. We have to go. We have to go every single play. And it's an old coaching cliche, play every play like it's your last play. But it wouldn't be a cliche if it wasn't true. And so, maybe there was a period in there where it seemed a little slower to you. The length of the practice was okay, but it's just we can't allow guys to pace themselves. That can't be part of the culture.
Seem to be some quarterback center exchange issues today. Is that just a product of not having Greg Capella, who's figures through?
Yeah, you know what? It's a new snap count. It's new guys. There's a new rhythm. We're using a different football now. But those are excuses. It can't happen, and so we've got to eliminate that. We actually on Thursday we had 3 snap count errors. Or snap quarterback exchange issues, and we had a couple more today. So we've got to get that cleaned up. You don't have a chance to run a successful play if you can't get the snap off.
New football at UCLA or new football in college, or?
No, new football for UCLA. Yeah.
For right now, for spring, is it?
Well, Adidas. It's a new Adidas prototype.
we brought in the crowd noise today?
We brought in crowd noise for the last period. A lot of what you have to do during a game, both offensively and defensively, is nonverbal. And so we just felt like we wanted to give them 2 practices to kind of get going and coach them, and then we wanted to give them most of the day to get going. You'll see more and more crowd noise. We'll mix some music in there at times, but today I just wanted crowd noise. I wanted them to be irritated in practice. You try to create an environment in practice that, once again, every weekday I'm going to give you these coach cliches. You're going to get so sick of me. But you want practice to be harder than the game. One of our goals is to get them comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes sense to you. So that's why you add the crowd noise, and you do things like that.
In the team, were the quarterbacks doing pretty well? It seems like they were. I think they went like 10 to start out.
Yeah, I don't keep track of it. Is 7 on 7?
Well,
So they ought in 7 on 7. There's no pass rush. You ought to be able to complete
11
8 out of 10 maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I go look at the film. I don't watch. I don't. You might train your eyes on one thing. I'm trying to train my eyes on everything. So I don't know. But I'm glad you saw that. I'm glad you felt that. That might be a good sign.
Coach,
When you can, okay.
what is it about the first day in pads that maybe makes guys a little
Skittish?
Yeah. Good one.
These guys, they really haven't hit since the bowl game. They haven't had pads on since the bowl game, and there's just this anticipation, I think, of contact. If you knew that you're going to have to go run into a wall or you're going to have a collision, that anticipation of it. When it just happens, that's one thing. When there's that anticipation, I think that every first practice in my entire career in pads has always started a little bit slower than I want. You think, common sense would tell you, or conventional wisdom would tell you that they're going to come out and they're just going to start blasting each other from the get-go. And I very rarely found that to be true, but it picks up as you go. Tuesday will be better. I don't know what it is.
You appear to be somewhat upset. Is it
now?
early on during practice? You appear to be upset because because they don't get it, and you're trying to convey this new thing to them. How are they supposed to get it? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
My job is
I mean,
to.
can you be disappointed because
I'm not disappointed at all.
Okay.
I'm excited about this football team, and I'm excited about the way they practiced, and I'm excited about. I think these guys are fantastic. I love them all. I mean, they got a great attitude. They work hard. They do what we ask. But my job is to set a standard, and my job is to never let that standard dip. And if it does, it's my job to get it pushed back up again. And if I don't do those things, then I'm failing the players, I'm failing the coaching staff, I'm failing UCLA fans, I'm failing this university, and I'm not going to fail. So, you know, that's coaching. You know, that's coaching. Coaches get upset sometimes, you know. Now, if you do it too often, then they shut it off. So you got to know when to do it and when not to. Typically, the first day of pads in my career, I found out that that's a day you end up kind of getting upset, you know. And not upset. It's just that we have to develop a sense of urgency in everything that we do. Maybe that's a better word. There has to be a sense of urgency about everything that UCLA football is now. So that's what I'm trying to get.
Are you the kind of coach who breaks spring practice into 5 individual weeks, or do you look at it?
15 individual days that complete a whole. So, yeah.
So you're not saying we have any goals for week 2 that are specific to week 2?
Every day we're trying to get better. Every day push the standard higher. Every day we're trying to come out here with a heightened sense of intensity, you know, heightened sense of urgency. That's what we're trying to do. Tell the players every day we have to find a new level. Every day. So.
Jim, week into it, are you starting to get a sense of how they're adapting to the new regime, I guess?
Yeah, you know what? Like I said, I'm very happy with their attitude, with their willingness, but we're not close yet to what I want us to be in terms of really. I'm not talking about execution here. I'm talking about urgency and effort and intensity. But what I see in their eyes is I see a willingness to do what I'm asking them to do, and that's exciting. That's exciting.
Is that with everybody, or are you starting to get a sense of
I'm getting a sense. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, this isn't for everybody. You know what I mean? It's not for everybody. If it's for everybody, it ain't hard enough. There's going to be a fail rate. And if there's not, I haven't pushed them hard enough.
Going back to injuries for 1 second. Marvray, not practicing.
Yeah, I remember Ricky, Thursday is back. It was bothering him. Ricky's so darn tough, okay? The kid, he doesn't need to prove to us how tough he is. I know how tough Ricky Marvray is. And we made the decision today to hold him, you know, so he'll get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, really, where he's out, you know, not out here doing that, and most of Tuesday, and then he should be good to go, hopefully. But it's a back. It's always kind of bothering him, and, you know, a kid, boy, he's a worker. God, you love that kid's attitude. I mean, it kills him not to be out here. Some guys, you know, day off, man, it kills him not to be out here.
Do you expect 40 back for Tuesday?
I think that's just a day-to-day thing. You know, those hamstrings, they're touchy. I think what's really important, you have a return-to-play protocol. You know, we're not going to take a guy from the training room and put him right in the competitive field. He's going to come out of the training room and he's going to work with our strength and conditioning coach, and Sal Losi's going to tell me when he's ready to go.
Did he get an MRI or anything?
No. It's a strain. It's not a major thing. You know, we don't want him to miss time, but you know, I think you make a real big mistake when you're talking about hamstrings. If you bring him back too early, they might get a half a practice or something. You're excited, and then boom, they pull it, and then they miss more time. So we'll be careful, but we'll still have that urgency about us.
Xavier said you guys went out to visit him as soon as he got back.
Mm-hmm.
How did that? Well, obviously it went well, but what stuck out to you about that meeting with him?
His family, their values as a family, his parents, his siblings, how loving and caring they were, how sincere he was, how important it was for him to come back and reestablish what he'd started as a freshman. He is a really good human being, man. I mean, he is a really good person, and he has really high standards for himself. And he, you know, I talked to him yesterday after the meetings, and he, Coach, I'm so disappointed in myself. I said, pal, you were gone for 2 years, okay? We knew there was going to be some rust, all right? You're getting better. And then halfway through practice today, he's like, okay, I'm feeling it, Coach. I'm feeling it, you know. And he's something else. You love working with kids like that. they're dying to be the best. All right, thanks everybody.